What's going on, Geminites? It's your boy Gem Mint, and we're here with the new comic book day reviews for Wednesday, September 2nd. It was just kind of an alright week. I think overall the books were decent. Nothing really stands out, but still a good week nonetheless. Before we jump into these reviews, check out some of our sponsors. We have Street Level Hero, who have the exclusive variants. They have this Shang-Chi Venomized #1 up for pre-order, and they like to pair their exclusives up with merch. So check them out. Use the code GEMMINT to save 10% off of anything on the store. Also, ThatSpidermanBooth.com has $30 mystery boxes where you get 5 comics of retail value. The giveaway prize in this round of boxes is this amazing Spider-Man 361 newsstand edition, graded at 9.8 by CGC, the first appearance of Carnage. If you use my code here, you'll get $10 off the mystery box as a one-time use per customer. But enough of all that, let's jump into the reviews. First, we're going to start with Skybound Image. We have Firepower issue 3. This is by Robert Kirkman and Chris Samney. I'm really digging what Robert Kirkman's doing here with Firepower. If you guys have read the prelude or have seen my review, this guy basically comes from training at this dojo in the Himalayas. He's back home. He's living a normal life with his wife and kids, but his past is now coming to haunt him, and he knows it. So he's kind of trying to train his kids. Him and his wife are sparring together and kind of trying to get their kids ready. So kind of a slow issue. Nothing really happens here. We just get an idea of what's to come. But otherwise, I'm digging this kind of martial artist tale. The guy's trying to live a normal life, but the dojo and the evil burnt earth society, I think it's scorched earth society, is trying to come back and get him. So that's it for like the Image books. I didn't really read anything else from Image. From Boom Studios, we have The King of Nowhere issue 5 by W. Maxwell Prince, Tyler Jenkins, and Hillary Jenkins. And I think I definitely missed issue 4, man. I definitely had to have missed that because this seems like the last issue. And it feels like they tell us what Nowhere is in the last issue. So I pieced it together with here. It was a cool little, made you think kind of life story at the end. So overall, I enjoyed it, but I definitely missed issue 4. All right, we're going to jump over to Marvel with New Mutants. This one's written by Ed Brisson. You have Fiala and Lopez on the book. Traditionally, this book has been going back and forth between Hickman and Brisson, but I think it's just strictly Brisson now. So I dug this issue of New Mutants. Basically, we've seen this in the previous issue, but Ileana and her little squad are going after this group that has made this Docs website. This website is putting mutants' names, information, address online, and these kind of mutant haters are going out there and doing terrible things to them. We have some cases like with Beak's family from earlier in this run. So basically, we're here to kind of shut down the operation. So I thought it was a good issue. I thought it kind of took a current trend and put it into a comic book in a meaningful way, if that makes sense. All right, next up we got Benjamin Percy on Wolverine issue 5. Got Bogdanovic and Wilson on here as well. We left with a pretty big cliffhanger at the end of issue 4. I'm not going to get into it, but the Omega Red Wolverine scene was pretty brutal, pretty epic at the end. So it picks up here, and this is basically a vampire story. And it's funny because vampires are the undead or the immortal, and so are mutants, especially Wolverine, but mutants in general because of the whole resurrection protocol and what they're able to do in Krakoa. So that's kind of tying into here. You get this kind of these rebel vampire kids that were like rebels before they were vampires, and they're rebels now, and they kind of get introduced into the story with Wolverine here without trying to give too much away. But I'm digging it, even though I don't traditionally like vampire stories or Dracula stories, but I think that it's fun. It works in this book. All right, got the final issue of Empire, issue 6, written by Al Ewing and Dan Slott. You have Valerio Schetti and Marte Garcia on the artwork. This was an oversized issue to wrap up this event. It ends how you would expect it, wrapped it up in a nice little bow. I'm not really sure what to say about this issue other than, what I've been saying for the whole event. It just felt like a generic event that didn't really have any stakes, any lasting effect throughout the Marvel Universe, and it just wasn't really needed. So I'm glad that it's over. I'm ready to move on to the next thing. I'm hopeful for 10 of Swords, so we'll see how that plays out as far as the next Marvel event. All right, then we have Cable issue 4, Jerry Dugan with Phil Noto. I really liked Cable issue 3. I thought the interaction between Cable and Deadpool was great. We're dealing with young Cable here. we're following that issue. I didn't enjoy it as much, but I did like it. I did like the kind of throwbacks to young Cable versus old man Cable, and kind of how old man Cable had everything. He's seen all this before. He had everything planned out to kind of help young Cable where he's at now, and we're dealing with those space knights, and we get the conclusion of that story here, and then it just kind of ends with a nice little Summers family dinner. But overall, I enjoyed Cable issue 4. All right, guys, and then we got Marvel Zombies Resurrection issue 1. Both big titles had zombie books this week. Man, I really love this In-Hyuk Lee cover too, man, with the Spider-Man and Galactus. I really like his Spider-Man here. This was another oversized issue. This is going to be a 4-part mini-series, and it was just okay. It felt like there was a lot of filler in here. Who are the characters here? It's like Peter Parker with Forge and some kids, and it's a typical zombie book. We do see some Marvel zombie characters flying around here. I forget who the other character is. Moonshine? Anyway, they have a reprogrammed Sentinel that they've programmed to be like an English Nana, and they're trying to find refuge. Leads them to Xavier's mansion, which is obviously run down, and there's kind of like a dilemma. Like, should they go there? Are there going to be a bunch of mutant zombies hanging around? And that's kind of what happens here. It feels Walking Dead-ish, where there was very little zombie interaction, and it was mostly interaction between our main cast. Otherwise, it was just okay. It wasn't as zany and out there as like the first Marvel Zombies, but we'll see where it goes. And then the DC zombie book, DCeased Dead Planet issue 3. Looks like this is a 7-issue miniseries by Tom Taylor, Hairsign, Balosini, and Burrito. And you know what? I think I forgot the creative team here. Johnson, Kirk, and Rosenberg. My bad. Anyway, DCeased 3 of 7. So this takes place 5 years after the initial events of DCeased. They're called back to Earth from an SOS from Cyborg, and it's playing with the idea that there might be a cure. There's an anti-life equation that caused all this, so there's got to be a life equation, and they're basically trying to find out what that is. Now, being that this is apocalyptic language and equations, they're trying to find someone from Apocalypse to help them. So who do you think they went to help? Who they find is not in good shape, and they're trying to get him back to normal so that they can maybe use some of their technology to figure out how to cure this zombie plague. So I like this issue. Another one, I think there is little to no zombie interaction here. It does tie up the loose ends with that like zombified Plastic Man, which was very dope, and the artwork on that was incredible at the very beginning, but that's only for the beginning part, and the rest is kind of about, how do we get to the cure? Let's get to where we save everybody. Then we got James Tynion the Fourth with George Jimenez and Mori on Batman 98, The Joker War Part 4. So this was just okay. I don't feel like it advanced the event at all. Like the Joker War didn't really advance here. It was kind of like an interlude type of issue. You got all the other villains chilling at Penguin's, Cool Cafe or whatever, trying not to get involved while Joker's doing his thing. Batman's trying to get the punchline toxins out of him, and he's with Harley. And basically what we get here is a good interaction of Bruce Wayne in himself, talking to a deceased Alfred and trying to break the hold of this toxin, and then you have a Harley and Punchline fight, which was good, man. And I really like their interaction. I like how Harley kind of teases her and calls her names like Punching Bag and things like that. And I think even on the cover she calls her, Punchline, I'm going to change your name to Knockout. So it was a good fight. The artwork was great here. Just didn't really feel like it really moved the story along too much. All right, then we got Tom King's Strange Adventures. This is issue 5 with Mitch Gerards and Evan Shaner. So I did like this issue. You kind of get an idea of the role that his wife, Alana Strange, what role does she play? They're kind of showing this story on how they were dealing with the alien enemy back on Ron. What is it? The Perks? The Picts? Anyway, I always mess up that name. So kind of showing how her and Adam Strange, how they kind of overcame that back on Ron and trying to prepare the humans for the Picts invasion that's going to happen here, all while he's still on trial for war crimes, and he touches on it. Seems pretty confident he's going to get off. So yeah, it was basically an Alana Strange issue. And I think it really worked. I enjoyed this issue. They're still sticking with that 2 different artists on the book, going from Mitch Gerard's, back, I don't know if he's doing the stuff on Ron or on Earth, or I forget who does what, but I think it's good, it's subtle. Really, for me, the coloring is what lets you know where you're at. But nice little teamwork on this book. All right, then we got Alan Burnett, Paul Dini. You have Templeton and Kubina on Batman: The Adventures Continue, issue 4. I enjoy this issue a lot. Classic Batman the Animated Series artwork. We're getting characters that were never in the show. This one, as you can see on the cover, has Azrael, and they did everything I wanted them to do with this. Still have Jason Todd lurking in the background, teasing new villains, showing other villains, kind of giving them little cameos. So definitely digging this series so far, man. As a fan of this growing up, very cool to see a new ongoing series for that from that universe. All right, guys, and then the last book. This is my pick of the week. I almost thought I wasn't going to have a pick of the week. Nothing really stood out for me, and this is like a surprisingly weird choice, I would say. I mean, we're going to go with Justice League issue 52, man. This is by Loveness, Roca, Enriquez, Ferraro Jr. So this is the final issue of the arc with the Black Mercy. Incredible artwork here, especially right in the beginning, where we have all of the Justice League trapped in this plant-like creature, a parasitic organism that's latched onto all of them. It's in their brains, showing them their greatest desires, all while it's feeding on their bodies. And we're in Bruce's mind. It's trying to basically talk Bruce out of being Batman and posing as his mother, as Martha, right after the incidents in Crime Alley. So it's like she's a bloodied version trying to talk to Bruce and then trying to talk to him as a child, trying to convince him that he doesn't need to do this anymore. And I just thought that the artwork was really incredible in those mindscape parts. And then like the kind of whole aftermath, the effects it has on Bruce afterwards was kind of interesting. Even Superman has to have a talk with him and is like, listen, what did they show you? You know, I'll tell you what they showed me, kind of thing. Because they're showing you a better life. So when you get back to your regular life, you're almost like, damn, you're longing for what the Black Mercy showed you. So, I really liked the way it was written. I thought the artwork was incredible, and it's really the standout book for me from this week. Let me know what your pick of the week is in the comments down below. Make sure you guys hit that like button if you enjoy these videos. Make sure that you're subscribed to the channel. Hit that notification bell so you don't miss one of these videos. And stay minty fresh. Peace.